if you haven't heard the disappointing news already, the game up at Peterborough has been called off. Confirmation it was off was only about 40 minutes ago. 1,600 Charlton fans were, and maybe some still are, making their way up to Peterborough, and it is so disappointing on so many levels. The lack of communication from Peterborough and the lateness of the call-off, as well as the feel-good factor we're in right now after 3 straight league victories. Let's hear from a very unhappy Dean Holden. He spoke to Terry Smith on Hearing the News.
Dean, we're here at the Western Home Stadium, and what's the time now? It's 1:30, and we've just been told the game's been called off. Obviously, that must be a shock to you. What's been your timeline?
First of all, we have to empathise with our supporters. I think 1,600 are on the way up as we speak. Bang out of order situation that we've been put in. I apologise to our fans on behalf of our football club, but it's important that we get some clarity on this. I had a nagging doubt all week because of the temperatures, so 3-4 o'clock yesterday I got our secretary Ron to speak to Peterborough's secretary. At that point we were assured there was no pitch inspection planned, there was covers on the pitch, there was lamps, there was no issues. Midday today, Jim Rodwell, our chief executive, spoke to Peterborough's secretary. Again, same message, no pitch inspection planned, which I find strange because I've just spoke to the referee and he told me that he was here at 12 o'clock to check the pitch. I first heard of it at 10-1, so I was at the hotel around the corner, just about to go in for a team meeting, and at 10-1 I got a call from Tom from our comms team to say that the referee said if he called it now at 10-1 he'd call it off. So we sent Scott Marshall ahead to come and meet the referee. I turned up as quick as I could after the meeting at 1:20, and it's an half the pitch is completely bone hard. It's unsafe, unplayable, completely unplayable. So again, I can only repeat the message, but things happen, I suppose, and we have to deal with it. Listen, we'll have to come back up here on a Tuesday night, whenever that is, and make sure we come here and win the game.
So just to clarify, the decision itself, you're not complaining about it. It's the right decision because it is unsafe out there. It's just the fact that it's so late in the day.
It's just the timing of it. It's 20-2, we're calling the game off, knowing that there's nearly 2,000 people coming from London and wherever else. It's not on. This is a classic example of fans being put last. So again, I apologise on behalf of our football club.
And what would you do from here, and what would the team do from here? Will you try and train before you go back, or is it just a straight back home now? What's the plan? Well,
our training ground's frozen. We've only got covers enough for one pitch, so we decided yesterday, once we'd finished our final prep session, to put them covers on the under-18s pitch so they could get their game on this morning. That was a smart thing to do. So the players have been travelling roundabout trip for 5 hours, so no, they'll go back, they'll have some time with the families. We'll report back in on Monday morning. I need to get in the car because I'm going to go up to Derby now and watch, obviously, our next opponent's Bolton.
Well, I won't keep you too much longer, it's in its relevance now, but how was the squad before this, and was it shaping up to be okay?
No, it's irrelevant, as you say. We were well prepared for this game, and things get put in your place. I keep saying it, you have to just deal with the situation in front of you, and we'll do that. We'll get back safe. Hopefully our supporters will too, and we'll go again next week.
Appreciate you talking to us, Dean. Cheers, mate. Thanks.
Oh, ridiculous, isn't it? We'll come on to that in just a second. Delighted to say that with Curb still sunning himself in Barbados, Paul Mortimer alongside him. Mort, how are you? Happy New Year. When do you stop saying Happy New Year?
I don't know. Clue. There must be some etiquette to it. There must be a cut-off date. But it's Happy New Year, so it's not today.
Absolutely, mate. It's not a Happy New Year. I know you never say Happy New Year anyway.
2nd of Jan, you stop saying it. 2nd of Jan.
There's an absolute shock. And what we'll also say is Ebenezer Scrooge is that he made sure your run of goals, your VT of goals, was taken off as well.
He didn't, did he?
Yeah, I had some good lines as well. I watched them earlier. Same 4 we show every single time you're on.
There's more than 4, you know.
Yeah, is there?
Well, you know there is. You know there is.
You know the peg leg right footer you score. You know when you scuff it.
Yeah, yeah. After I beat 3 or 4.
You fall through 2 players.
I tripped and fell. I did that so often, though, didn't I?
So many times.
Well, amazing how lucky you got so many times.
You know,
isn't it?
exactly. Right. You'd have liked some of that luck, wouldn't you?
I should drive in from 45, 50 yards.
Yeah, only 1 or 2.
He would have liked your right foot there. Like your left foot. But look, I mean, we're trying to make a bit of a joke about it, but I mean, it's a disgrace, really, isn't it? I mean, first of all, second time you're in this season and no game, Mort, so we apologise for you on that. But look, it was called off around about, I think it was 1:34 it was called off. And as Dean was saying, the club purposely made calls 24 hours ago as well, and were assured that it was going to be called on. We do hope that all the 1,600 Charlton fans know about it now. But whether they do or they don't, they would have been on their way, and that in itself is a disgrace. So, how would you comment on this? Because Peterborough, from my point of view, looks like it's been an absolute shambles.
That would be the word, yeah. I mean, it's a definite lack of due care and attention, because you see, there's a couple of things you do, you know, the night before. You check the temperatures. You know what the temperature is going to be like. So, not necessarily overnight, but you're monitoring the pitch every 4 hours. You are. So you get up at the crack of dawn this morning, you get the groundsman out there, put a fork in it, see what it's like, and then you check it every 3 or 4 hours. And everyone should be liaising, so that we get to a point where even before the ref comes to check, you kind of have an idea and you keep in touch with the relevant parties, the clubs, social media. This is where social media works. You put it out on there quickly, the fans are aware very quickly. And that's what surprised me, is that social media wasn't used to inform people quickly.
Yeah, I know you love social media, Brown. but this could have been a force for good, couldn't it? Or, to be honest with you, it sounded like calls were made and assurances were made back. What do you do to that?
Well, this is absolutely on Peterborough, nothing else. And Dean's apologised on behalf of our football club, no reason. We've done everything in our power to say to them, look, you know, we're the travelling club, are you sure? Temperatures are plummeting, can you check? Oh yeah, we've got lamps, we've got covers. You know, 1:34 they've released that's been called off. At 1:34 our fans are there. They're in the pubs, they're having lunch, they're spending their hard-earned money already. And they're going to have to go up again if they want to. You know, it's now going to be a Tuesday night. That's more difficult for people to get there. You know, just a real lack of care and attention. You know, I'm not being funny, but it doesn't matter what level you're at. You can go and put a key in the pitch at 8 a.m. in the morning. You know, just as a secretary, you can walk down the pitch and put a key in it and go, whoa, hold on a minute. That's bone hard. It's not difficult what we're talking about here. Doesn't need a groundsman even. Just you go bang, oh, crikey, it's not going to get much warmer today.
I do wonder what the EFL rules are and whether Peter will get some kind of fine for this. But I thought Dean spoke really well, and on behalf of the fans as well. I love the fact as well he was proper mank in terms of no jacket, just one layer top. I love that.
No,
but
I'd have been wearing.
Seriously though, I thought he spoke very well.
Yes, and he composed himself, which was the thing. You could sense he was, you know, there's something bubbling, the frustration bubbling up underneath, because Charlton have very good momentum at the moment. They're playing really well. The feeling is good, and you want to carry that on. And the way this has happened is a sense of disappointment, irritation, but also anger, really, because, you know, it could have been dealt with differently. And we all know as players, you know, when you build yourself up, you prepare for the game, and there's a huge sense of disappointment, might be a relief for some, huge sense of disappointment when the game isn't, you know, it's an opportunity for you to then go and win another game, keep that run going, and you're not allowed to. And yeah, I can sense his frustration.
Do you know what? Unless you're on a really bad run of form, once you've sort of prepared yourself mentally the night before and then the morning of as well, you just want to play. And Brownie Mortimer's right, hasn't he? 3 straight wins. You know, I'm not saying that I don't want to talk too much about the playoffs yet, but they're there. Well, I'd love to. Of course, I would. Win today and results had gone our way, would have been 3 points off them.
Yeah, we can talk about. I mean, I'll add the hint of realism to it. They're a very, very good side at home. Very good side. You look at the stats and they're not bad. They've had a little bounce back with Darren going in there as manager. He's changed the team. He's brought some more experienced players back into the team. I think he felt they were lacking a little bit with the youth that was trying to be brought through maybe a little bit quickly by the looks of the the recent results and obviously with Gavin McCann going. But it was a tough job for us. But you're both right in the respect we were in very, very good form.
We would have wanted to play, surely. We would have wanted to play than not wanted.
100% we wanted to play it, yeah. But it was probably our toughest fixture in the last 4 in terms of picking up that result today. But yeah, we were in a different place than we were a month ago. A month ago we would have gone, oh, actually not. It's not a bad call-off. Today we would have wanted it on for sure.
It is amazing how things can change, isn't it? 3 straight victories, a good performance up at Old Trafford as well, and suddenly everyone's being optimistic, aren't they?
Well, the thing about Old Trafford was, with the best win in the world, it was going to be about performance. It was going to be about performance, wasn't it? Were they expected to win? No. But if they could perform, it kind of augurs well for everything else. You use that performance as a real shot in the arm, and that's what they've done. They've been in great form. I should think the training ground is buzzing at the moment. I should think the players are, really busting their gut to want to play today. So that's what makes the whole thing so disappointing, is that they can't take it forward. But I look forward to the next game, because the opponents, whoever they are, I'm not quite sure they are. You'll tell me.
It's Bolton.
Yeah, I'm at that game as well.
Yeah.
That'll be a good game. There'll be some real frustration being let loose in that game.
I mean, you two haven't got anything to do right now, have you? You haven't got anywhere to go right now. You're not going off with Dean to watch Bolton and.
No, I mean, I a bit late for us to get in London there, but listen, I'd go and watch another game if we had time. But yeah, we're
What I'm asking for is, should we carry on a bit of the show and still do a bit?
Till kick-off.
Well, we're here. So why not?
Till kick-off.
We've prepared ourselves mentally now, haven't we? So let's do it, Morts. You know what I mean?
Exactly right. Yeah.
Okay, well look, we're going to do the best we can in terms of what we would have done pre-match. Obviously, some bits not quite relevant. So let's have a look at the league table and remind ourselves of that. Of course, both teams in the top half. We stayed 12th after beating Barnsley last Saturday, but we're now only 1 point behind Exeter in 11th after they dropped points at home to Forest Green. Now just 6 off the playoffs, although Barnsley have played 2 games less. Peterborough tasted victory on Monday night as they won away at Port Vale in what was Darren Ferguson's first match back in charge, and that win lifted them from 9th to 7th. They were hoping to end the day in the top 6. At the very top, Plymouth scored a crucial stoppage time equaliser to earn a draw away at 3rd place Ipswich last weekend, and that result keeps Argyle 4 points ahead of Ipswich. And in between those two clubs, Sheffield Wednesday stayed 2nd, winning 1-0 away at Wycombe. And after that game, Wycombe manager Gareth Ainsworth said he felt his side had just played against the champions. Derby now unbeaten in 12 in the league after winning 3-2 away at Charlton. Actually conceded for the first time in 463 minutes in that game. Bristol Rovers saw their run of back-to-back wins come to an end at Accrington. Been reported that Bristol Rovers manager Joey Barton walked back to the changing rooms on his own accord after 83 minutes because he was so unhappy with the match officials in that game. I'd love to have been a fly on the wall. But look, I mean, Morts, I want to get your opinion on that very late goal for Plymouth. Could be crucial, but interesting what Gareth Ainsworth said about Sheffield Wednesday, who of course had beaten Newcastle in the Cup as well, that they just played the champions.
Well, you get a feeling when you play against teams, and what he's saying is, there's aspects of what they're like on the ball, what they're like defensively, what they're like when they're going forward, but also this aura you have about you. We've all played against teams where we think, these are magnificent. They are really a good side. And having played them all, he will know that. But when you look at that table, there's some really good teams up there. And it's really competitive as well. So I look forward to how, it's gonna sort of work out between now and the end of the season. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we could be up there.
I love that, Morts. Me and you surrounding with this bit of, if we say realism rather than pessimism. Let's just have a quick look at the table again, because we are 12th and there's now 3 clubs within 3 points of us, and Brownie, we just got to keep chipping away, haven't we, when we can?
Look, we sat here 4 games ago. We had one of the worst performances of the season against Oxford. I think I got a great reaction from Dean at half time, by all accounts, from the stories that come out of the changing room, and we've been on a good run ever since. And so you can be very positive at the moment about us. Like I said, you can add in the fact that Barnsley have got a couple of games, and I think Peterborough have got that game in hand. But interestingly, you win that today, and that's what we've got to do. We've got 2 teams. We've got Peterborough and Bolton coming up. If you can get results against those sides, you're always narrowing that gap. It's still a hell of an ask. When you look at the numbers that need to be hit, it's still a hell of an ask for us. But it's much more attainable than it was after that Oxford game, where we were going down the pub for a beer after what was a bit of a long night, because it was such a poor performance. So, things are very much on the up, looking up. And Mort's mentioned about the Man United game and the performance of the players. I thought there was a galvanised effort by our supporters, because it's not been easy coming here this year. And 10,000 went up, and everybody that went, I haven't heard anybody say, I had a bad day or a bad night. They had a great time, and our crowds were swelling because of that. Now, if we can match the results of performances, crowds are swelling. Suddenly, you've got that feel-good factor. Yeah. And who knows where that can take.
No, at the moment, I'd say we're a top 10 side, not top 6. But you never know. Just keep chipping away. Okay, let's have a look at the fixtures that are going on in League One, then, shall we? We're one of 4 matches that have been called off. Bristol Rovers, Wycombe off. Lincoln, Burton off. Morecambe, Port Vale off, as well as our game as well. So standout game for you then, Mort, what do you think?
Oh, it would definitely be Derby County Bolton.
Yeah.
That's a game because, you know, Derby are a good side, really shouldn't really be in the division. Good side, strong team. Bolton are a good side as well. I mean, be interesting. I know Dean Holden's holding on his way up there, which, you know, to watch this because, you know, I'm really looking forward to who wins this. Because I think they're two teams, two ex-Premier League teams as well,
yes,
who will be there or thereabouts come the end of the season, no doubt.
Well, Brownie, we've been mentioning Derby in recent weeks, haven't we, as a potential top 2 gate crasher. That will be some game, won't it?
They'll be kicking themselves they didn't appoint in the summer. Because I'm telling you, they're on a charge. They're very, very difficult about. I'd go a home win on that one. Bolton are not so good on their travels. They're excellent at home. They're not so good on their travels. But yeah, I think Derby County as a football club would be like, oh, we should have made the change in the summer. They gave Leaburn a chance actually, which I think was the right thing to do. But for whatever reason, that didn't materialise. But who they've got in now has proven at League One level. Yeah,
absolutely.
And they're flying. But yeah, I like the look of the Oxford Ipswich because Ipswich are having a proper wobble in terms of where they should be. They're strong. Sheffield Wednesday are strong because they got a very, very good strength in depth. So even if they miss 1 or 2, what's coming in is equally as good as what they've got starting. They've got real competition for places. Plymouth are the surprise because I thought they would fall away.
Yeah.
But they've added 4 or 5 really good loan signings so far.
Ipswich have added signings as well.
Yeah,
4
but
signings.
I think they're under more pressure than anybody else. They really went for it this summer.
Yeah.
And the way they've started and now they're starting to tail off, enough difficult to suddenly turn that round when the pressure's coming.
Are they the Chelsea of League One,
Wow.
are they?
29,000.
Both windows.
Listen, 29,000 sellout last week, and they didn't get the result. And they're suddenly Sheffield Wednesday are starting to pull away. Plymouth are starting to pull away.
It's a difficult place.
Yeah.
You know, over the years, the expectation
Absolutely.
there is it makes
Well, both. But Darren Moore's doing a great job there at Hillsborough, isn't he?
Proven again at this level. Done a great job at Doncaster, didn't he?
But he's got good experienced players there. This won't phase them. That's the thing.
recruited well.
So yeah, they'll be there or thereabouts as well. And if the big games come along, it won't be a problem because a lot of those players have played at a higher level, so it's not going to phase them at all.
Absolutely. Okay, let's let you know what's going on with club news updates now, shall we? And as ever, we'll start with ticketing news. This upcoming week will be your last chance to purchase a half-season ticket. They have been active since our Boxing Day game, which funny enough was against Peterborough. And since then, we've picked up 7 points from a possible 9 at the Valley. Half-season tickets are priced at £160 and you can get yours now by heading to booking.cafc.co.uk. Existing season ticket holders are also reminded they can bring a friend for free to our next game against Bolton on Saturday, January the 28th. Remember, that's a 12:30 kickoff. Full details are available on cafc.co.uk. Staying with ticketing, and the Charlton women's team are back in action at the Oakwood tomorrow. We certainly hope so anyway, when they host Lewis at the Barclays Women's Championship. Karen Hills' Addicts have won the last 6 in all competitions and currently sit 3rd in the table. Tickets for tomorrow's game are priced at just £8 for adults and £4 for concessions. You can get your tickets online now from booking.cafc.co.uk, or you can pay in the turnstiles through though prices will be subject to a £2 increase on the day of the game. If you can't make it, then you can watch every kick live on Charlton TV. Young striker Patrick Casey continued his impressive form by scoring twice in our under-18s 2-1 victory over Queen's Park Rangers last weekend. He slotted us in front after just 13 minutes, decent strike that. And after Rangers had levelled midway through the first half, he then struck the decisive blow 7 minutes into the second half. Casey's now scored twice in each of his last 2 under-18s games. A big well done to him and also to all of Jason Pearce's side. Fellow youngsters Karoy Anderson and Dylan Gavin will have the opportunity to test themselves at senior level in the next few weeks as they have headed out on loan to Aldershot Town and Welling United respectively. Anderson made his debut in the Shots 2-1 victory away at Solihull Moors in the National League on Tuesday night, while Gavin debuted for the Wings in their 4-2 defeat to Dulwich Hamlet last weekend. Also last weekend, young defender Charlie Barker played the full 90 minutes of Wilston's 3-1 win over Eastleigh. Keep up the good work, lads. The club will be hosting a PSA testing day at the Valley ahead of our home game against Fleetwood Town on Saturday, February the 11th. The fixture is also the club's annual Men's Health Awareness Day. And as part of the match day, supporters from both clubs can get a PSA blood test at the stadium. A test is a blood test that measures the amount of prostate-specific antigen, PSA, in your blood to help diagnose prostate problems, including prostate cancer. To find out more and to book your test, please visit cafc.co.uk. I keep meaning to speak to TJ about that and organising it.
Yeah.
She did it last year. I'm definitely going to do that this year. And finally, I'm very pleased to announce this. Yes, the brand new Charlton Athletic app is now available to download on Apple and Android devices, making it even easier to enjoy watching us on Charlton TV, whether you're at home or on the go. Kurz must be telling the good joke there, mustn't he? As well as live streaming, all of Charlton TV's on-demand videos will be available to watch, and the app's push notifications will allow you to get all of the big news as it happens. In the month of January, that could be certainly very useful indeed. The app is free to download from the Apple App Store and Google Play Store, and you can get it by simply searching Charlton Athletic in your respective store. Yes, Brownie, what are you going to say?
Well, why do they do that every time?
Do what?
Why am I the only one that looks like they've put the Joker's face on there?
What do you mean?
That's the second photo where they've, honestly, George Jones is winding me
You're
up.
smiling.
Yeah, but look at it.
like that.
I mean,
What's
it's like
wrong with that?
it's like he's stretched my face upwards.
Malls,
And it looks like I've had a facelift.
Malls, this is what I'm having to deal with on a weekly basis. If you can find any negative out of a positive.
Scott, you know what should happen is they should Photoshop him out.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
That's what I would do.
Next time, George, can we get a picture of Malt's head right
There
now
you go.
and put it onto Brownie's head with any future stuff?
My head on Brownie's body? No, thank you.
On Brownie's body, yeah.
I'm telling you now. He shouldn't throw any stones in there, should he?
Listen, don't worry about me.
There'll be glass shattering everywhere. Be glass shattering everywhere.
I'm still going to vote for that, Malts. I'd much rather see your face than his. OK, this week has been the EFL's Week of Action, and as part of it, Sean Clare and Beth Rowe visited a Charlton Athletic Community Trust programme at Ravensworth Primary School in Mottingham. Here's how they got on.
We've had Sean Clare and Beth Rowe in at Ravensworth Primary School for EFL Week of Action. We was talking about dreams, ambition, and it's been a really, really good day.
So far we've just been meeting some of the Year 4 kids who've been coming in to do some work with Alfie around kind of goals and reading and stuff like that, and we just kind of got to know them a bit, played a few fun games and just interacted. They asked us a few questions about football, ourselves and books, so yeah, it was good. I think it's important to get into the community around your club. I think it's important to engage with the young kids and kind of give a different perspective. Footballers especially have a very big stigma around them, especially at the top and stuff like that, so it's good to show that we're human beings as well. We go through different things and to give them a little bit of advice that we have.
Really, for me, the whole reason behind it was inspiration, goals, and about making sure that the children have got those sort of role models and they know the journey that people have taken. So I think both of them had very different sort of journeys into football, and I think just those children had, and the way they talked about their vision, about dreaming big.
You know, there's so many little kids, girls, boys, who love sport, and for us to be able to give back, like, it's just amazing. Like, for our time as well, like, for them to see us in here speaking, chatting, it gives them someone to look up to, especially like little ones who probably don't know anything about us, but maybe they enjoy, say, football and want to get involved. Then it shows them that, oh, look, they can actually achieve their goals because we've been in the same situations as what they have.
I'm loving being an apprentice. It's really like making me work hard, so I feel like I'm getting better and better every day. I keep getting put on different sessions. Some days I'll be doing lunchtime clubs, and then like today I'll be doing reading, writing, just helping them with little things that they might need help with.
Listen, great to see Sean and Beth going out there and doing some great work. Well done to Alfie too, I have to say. And you can support our community trust's fantastic work in our local community by donating via CACT.gives. Okay, we're going to hear from Miles Leaburn soon. Before we do, let's look at some of the improvements that we've seen in the last few games, shall we, on the pitch. Obviously, we have improved a lot in recent weeks, which is great. And there's been some... What are we listening to now? I suddenly thought we had a Gary Lineker moment then. I think we have, haven't we? Oh, I love that. Wait, is that Terry Smith? Is there a phone under there with Terry Smith? Can we hear that again? Can we hear that again or not?
What was that? I mean, that's his commentary from the playoff final.
It's George's left his phone, I think, somewhere. He's done a Gary Lineker. Do you know what? I was going to mention that with Gary Lineker. I thought they handled that really well, didn't they?
I didn't see it. It's just the most bizarre thing. I don't know why people do that. I just don't get it myself. Maybe I'm from a different generation. I just don't.
Do you know what? I think actually that was Terry on BBC rather than... There is a phone under the table.
There's a great line to that, but you just can't use it.
Not until after the watershed, anyway. George, brilliant, love it. If it was your idea, someone else's, I don't know, but I think Terry was the man as well. We didn't hear Greg sort of say, "We've done it, Tel. We've done it, Tel." Anyway, let's go back to what we were thinking we were going to be talking about, shall we now? And the recent improvements on the pitch. You have to say, look, we've been pressing high, haven't we? And really been playing with a lot of energy, Brownie.
Yeah, look at the amount of players we got in that shot. That wasn't the case in previous games. Look, if you just look at that shot, 2, 4, 6 in their half, trying to win the ball back, get that early turnover. And interestingly, that had come with them equalising just before half-time when they didn't deserve it. It was a great bounce back. Look, again, players on the front foot winning the ball. Fraser continues his run and gets on the end of this for the finish. You know, and we weren't seeing that necessarily. Yeah. You know, in the weeks
I want to hear Tell now as each goal goes in.
That one there. There was a couple of challenges before that where we're fighting for the ball in the middle of the pitch. Turnover, suddenly springs a winger down, you know, into a 1v1 in the final third. That's a big change in recent weeks that we weren't seeing before. It was slow, it was methodical, it was predictable, playing out from the back. Yeah. We were making mistakes, and that's the biggest change for me. We're actually turning the ball over higher up the pitch, which is leading us to being on the front foot, which is much better to watch.
I think you're the Alan Shearer kind of serious one after what happened there on Monday, aren't you? You've got still a very good serious face.
I didn't get it.
You've forgotten about it. You didn't get it.
You
didn't watch what?
No, I saw the BBC thing,
right, okay.
but I get it. No, I get it.
It didn't look so serious. There's not even a smile on his face. Anyway, look, I mean, Morts, you've been a player and a coach as well. Yeah. How much credit goes to Dean for turning it around in such a short space of time? Look, it's 3 matches plus obviously Old Trafford as well, but we do look a different side already.
We do. The first thing you have to recognise is it is something professional athletes can do. It's there, it's within them, and as Brownie was saying initially, I saw it, slow paced, you know, one paced. What he's done first and foremost is he's changed the mindset. When you're pressing, and I saw some of the VT there where when the ball was going forward, 5 or 6 players were running forward as well. So that takes energy as well. So he may have changed the way they train. So there's more urgency, there's more energy in it. To step up and press, those behind have to be confident enough, because it is a gamble sometimes when you press, because if they break those lines, they're right at the defence. So they're more solid and more confident as well. There's a confidence about it all. About when we do press, everyone goes, there's a uniformity about it. So there's been a lot of work done on the training pitch, just to, you know, triggers. Who is it that sets them up to go and press? What happens to everyone else behind? So there's a lot of work being done on the training pitch, but there's also, it feels like, a change in mindset, but also the physical aspects, because pressing is hard work. It takes a lot of energy, and if you don't get it right and you have to run 50 yards back to your goal and then start again, it can sap a lot of energy. So there's a lot of little things that he's got right.
Someone who's doing well and has done well at different times throughout the season as well, Scott Fraser. He scored 2, made an assist in his last 3. How impressed have you been of him of late and fitting into that kind of style? Yeah, really impressed, because I think obviously we paid a lot of money for him. It came with a tag actually, and I think we gave it to him. Someone behind the scenes here gave it to him. You know, best midfielder in the league, which
you know, I had to raise an eyebrow at certain performance. It's a massive call when you look up and down this level. So, you know, that brings a certain level of requirement on the pitch, which I don't feel that we got every week. Admittedly, I think half of it was down to us moving him back alongside George Dobson, not his favourite position. That's not where we're going to get the best out of him. But since being pushed higher up the pitch, we're seeing that Fraser that we all thought we were getting when we made the transfer from Ipswich. So really delighted that he's found that form. Really pleased for him, because I think there's a pressure comes when you get that tag. And he wasn't really living up to that pressure. Now he is. And I think it makes a massive difference when he is in the form that he is in.
Yeah. OK, well, let's hear from Miles Leaburn now, who was, of course, hoping to get on the score sheet today. It's not going to happen, but he's been nothing short of sensational, has he, since he's come into the Charlton first team. And he spoke to CharltonTV early this week.
Miles, 6 months or so into your breakthrough season as a senior professional, how would you put it into words?
Yeah, no, it's been like a dream, obviously, like coming in straight away and then being involved, I think, in every game possible that I've been available for. And yeah, it's literally been, it's like what I do on FIFA career mode, like when I make myself a pro, it's literally like come to life.
If we go back to the summer, you were sort of chucked in, and I think for fans, you were maybe a bit of a surprise inclusion on the pre-season tour. Was it a surprise for you?
Yeah, like when I got told, obviously, I think there was like the main squad that was chosen to go, and then I think a couple of the youngsters that were training up with the first team, there was like a bit of like uncertainty who was going to go. And so when I finally got told I was going, I was quite surprised, but mostly excited. And I was like thinking this could be my chance. Hopefully I could take it, and luckily I did.
And ahead of that trip, yeah, what sort of things were you saying to yourself?
Yeah, I was more like my mum, my dad, my sister all give me encouragement, like, yeah, you've got this, you've got the ability to do this. And I was just thinking to myself, this is the chance that I've been waiting for, and I was excited to try and take it.
And then fast forward to the opening day of the season away at Accrington.
Sessignon shapes to go one way, comes back out to his left. Tees up Payne across, looking for Leaburn, oh, it's a goal! Miles Leaburn scores for the Addicts, and the cries of Leaburn go up.
You get what we thought at the time was the winning goal with one of your first touches of the ball after coming off the bench for your senior debut. Is that a day that you still remember?
Yeah, of course. I remember literally the build-up to it, how many chops Sess did, and then the cross from Payne. And then, yeah, when I headed it in, the celebrations, I seen all the fans like bundling over each other, and then everyone bundling on me. And it was just like an amazing feeling.
And since then, you've gone from, in some ways, I suppose, Miles Leaburn, the youngster, to Miles Leaburn, the established first-team player. How have you found that sort of time from the beginning of the season to now? Do you feel like you've grown as a player?
Yeah, I thought, obviously, you can't really like chuck someone in, so I feel like in that beginning phase when I'd be like subbed on for the last remaining minutes or like the last 20, I think that's like useful because it's not just like throwing me into the deep end, you know what I mean? And especially helping with my development so I can take tips from each game. And obviously you got all the experienced pros that are around me helping me every day. And then I think getting into it when I got my injury, I think that was when I was like showing that I can start, but then obviously I got that setback. And then coming back and then scoring again, which I thought was like the biggest challenge for me. Because I was thinking, oh, what if I come back and I don't like get off to that good start that I did before, but luckily I did and I was happy to do it.
Although you've only been a first-team player for a relatively short space of time, you've had a few things that you've had to deal with along the way. So getting a goal on your debut, the injury, the headlines which have come with the goals. I mean, how important is your support network been in that time?
Yeah, I think like obviously my family, the fans, everyone's been really supportive of me. Haven't put loads and loads of pressure on me, which is like a big help, especially because I'm still young. If you think about it, it's my first season. But yeah, I think I've dealt with it well, but they've made it easier to deal with as well. And
your dad obviously had the Leaburn chant, which you've inherited. How important has he been in not just this last 6 months or so, but in your whole young career so far?
Yes, like ever since I was 3, 4, him and my mum always taking me to football. Even like the long journeys that they had to take sometimes, or like away games, and the advice that my dad's given me it's like kind of shaped me to help me be what I am today. And it's like I'm like forever grateful for what they've done.
Is he someone that you go to for advice? Does he come to you? Like, how does it?
Yeah, a bit of both. After games, like I usually get a lift back with him, and he'll tell me like things I've done well and then things I can maybe look to improve on. And yeah, it's good to have that support, because not only do I get in the analysis from the coaching staff and that, but obviously I get from my dad, who's played the game, same position, same stature, so it's good to have all the points of views.
And what does it mean to you hearing Leaburn, Leaburn, Leaburn chanted from the crowd?
Oh, I remember when I first heard it down at Accrington, I can't say it's like, because I've seen some clips of my dad and I hear like the chants, and then to have it now for me, it's just like really special, and I bet it's special for him as well to see it.
Looking at Saturday now, Peterborough to come. We've obviously won 3 on the bounce. I think they've won 3 and 2, 2 and 3 even themselves. What are we expecting from them?
Yeah, I think it's obviously every game is a tough game, but I think we could really push on and make a statement, because we've got 3 wins on the spin. We're in good form, and hopefully we can continue it.
And just lastly, what does it mean to you playing for Charlton?
Yeah, it means a lot, especially like all the family, like my mum obviously working for the club, my dad being a big aspect here, and then now to obviously come through, it's like, it just means everything.
Plays well on it, massive future ahead, great attributes, great potential, isn't he?
Absolutely, yeah. I think we're going to do well to hold on to him. I think we will during January, but I think if he continues in the same form back into the season, there's absolutely going to be people knocking on the door in the summer. I've said this before, you know, Carl and Tracy will make sure it's the right move for Miles. I'm sure he'll be well, you know, the decisions he has to make will be well discussed with those two, and it won't necessarily be, you know, he won't get sucked into just it's a Premier League club and it's money. You know, it'd be the right thing for his career, and sometimes that is moving too early can have an adverse effect. So there's a lot to discuss.
Absolutely. I thought that was the phone going again there.
Somebody's
phone, George's phone going. I can't hear Terry. Have you seen much of Miles this season?
Yes,
Ross?
I have.
What have you made of him?
I have. Well, I've always been a fan, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, I spoke to people before he played and said once he starts playing, you know, the kid's a player, because I've watched him from the youth team, you know, when he was at other clubs and he came to Charlton, and spent time talking to him, and he understands adversity. He had serious injuries as a kid with his knees and things like that, and he's growing pains and things like that. So we spent a lot of time watching. So he understands adversity at a very young age, and the pressure also. You know,
he got released at Chelsea as well,
exactly.
didn't he? Yeah.
Look who his dad is. He understands the pressure, and he's dealt with it really well. And you know, it's no surprise to me, having watched him even in the youth team here, when he came into the first team and produced what he did. It's no surprise to me. And I'd said to everyone that listened, the minute he starts playing, it's going to be about how long they can keep him for. That's how good I think he can be. But this is a good place for him to be right now.
Yeah, there was more than one incident at Old Trafford where he just bullied Harry Maguire, didn't he? And off the ball as well. Where when I was 18 and I got into the first team, I mean, we had a lot of senior pros in there, and it was before the Premier League, but the top flight. It was just too touch. I just try and do the right thing, and then put in your tackle. He looks like he feels like he should be there, not just when he's got the ball, but also he wants to bully his opposition, you know, the people he's up against as well, off it. Yeah,
it was a tough night for him as a lone striker against a World Cup winner, and a guy that had played for England in the World Cup. And he put himself about. He wasn't intimidated at all. Sometimes you get, I don't mind admitting, went up to Anfield, was intimidated, because I supported him as a kid, had a stinker, got subbed off. He's not intimidated by anything that surrounds him.
Well, I'm glad Curbs isn't here, by the way. That he'll probably remember that game.
The reason why
you stayed on longer than I wanted you to. Yeah.
The reason why this is fun is it's a question that every single player is asked. This perennial question: can I step up to that level? And the question you live, the only way to motivate me is, well, do you think you could play here? Go and show me. You think you can go and bully those two? And that's all you needed to do in terms of a team talk for someone like that. That's motivation enough. And what he did on the night, trust me, a lot of people will have taken note.
Absolutely. Is he our #1 striker at the moment?
Yeah.
And even if he is, which I think he is, how much does he need to still be managed? Because he's still a young lad, isn't he, in his first full season?
He is our #1 striker at the moment, purely because You know, in terms of the goals he has scored, it's not just that. There's a contribution elsewhere as well. He comes in short, holds the ball up well, and he will drop his shoulder and get in behind. The potential is there for everyone to be seen. There's more to come, without any shadow of a doubt.
I think he's got more potential than Mason, and look at the move that he made.
I
Mason
agree.
Burstow,
I agree. And he's got more to his game than Mason, a little bit. Mason offers something slightly different, but in terms of all the attributes, Miles has got more for me. But you know, in terms of what he's delivered in such a short space of time, it catches the eye of almost every scout or every club will be sending a scout. So
the thing about this also is, you know, you score on your debut, you're almost like an overnight sensation. It's a blessing and a curse. After that, it's now about just getting down to learning the arts of the game, the nuances of the game. You know, everyone knows who you are, but now it's about rolling your sleeves up and understanding what you have to do to be a success playing in a central attacking position. And I think staying at a club like this, he will get that education, and who knows where he'll go, but you need that good grounding and that good foundation. And often, as you say, sometimes people leave too early. That's the balance. That's the question is the right time to leave.
Well, it's almost like, and you've mentioned it, and it was mentioned in there as well about Carl. You know, Tracy will have a definite big part to play, but in terms of Carlo, you know, the fact that he has not just been an ex-professional player himself, but was in that position, he knows exactly what needs to be done, doesn't he, as a young up-and-coming star?
I spoke to him. I was at a game, a Chelsea game last weekend, and he was there, and we had a little chat. And I said, one of the things that you know, we talk to each other, and I said, pinning players. He's got to learn to pin players and get the ball into feet, you know, the old up, back and through. And I said, and if he learns it, there's not many that are going to be able to physically handle him. So when he learns to actually pin early and hold, and that ball gets played at his feet, there's no centre-half going to get around him, I'm telling you. So when he learns to do that, because at the moment everything's on the move, seems to be, and Carl was, and it was something that Carl was very, very good at, so he'll be able to get some great advice off of Carl on moving that particular.
Didn't you also mention about getting a little black book?
Yeah, black book, yeah, because he took one, didn't he? He took an absolute, it was either a punch or an elbow to the face off the ball. I thought Dean Holden did very, very well getting hold of him at half-time. And never on the day is a good time to retaliate, never. But there's always another game. There's always another season.
You can get away with it in League One or certainly EFL because there's no VAR.
and if people tell you that's not part of the game, they're lying. It is part of the game. Many a time I've travelled up and couldn't wait to get up to say, a Newcastle or whatever, someone who left one on me the year before. You know, the old Achilles toe pump was my favourite. Toe punch to the back.
Achilles toe, yeah.
In the first couple of minutes.
You see, Rob, the director, just mentioned he's absolutely spot on. He was like that, as if like a gangster. You know, like, this is what I do. Revenge is a dish best served cold.
No idea what you are talking about.
The worst one is when you toe punch the back of the hair when they go and they just go, oh, it's like that today. Oh no. Oh no.
Know your people. Know your people.
Oh, your calves are a bit tight today.
You don't do that to Mick Harford or Billy Whitehurst, do you? Simple as that.
Mick done me once. Oh my God!
Yeah.
I just went. Oh,
yeah.
sorry,
Mick.
Sorry. I headbutted your elbow.
Did my face catch your elbow? Yeah, exactly. Final one to you then on this, then Morts, because kickoff's in. Oh no, there's no game. But you know, coming through the ranks, what advice would you give to not just to Miles, because he's got good people around him, but any youngster that's coming? You know, Lucas is doing really well, but any youngster generally.
It's about not looking too far ahead into the future. It's about enjoying the moment now. It's about playing now. It's about being in the team now. It's about learning now. Because often what happens is people, you know, they become overnight sensations. They leave with too many gaps in their game. And then when they go to another club, it becomes, there's an expectation when you go to another club that there's certain things you should already know. And often you don't know them. So it's about learning. It's about staying at this club, staying at a club for as long as you can. For me, 80, 100 games. If you can go and play league games and go and experience as many different things as you can, then you fill in those gaps. So when you do step up to whatever level,
you're ready.
You're ready. You're better equipped to learn more and to be able to deal with whatever challenges might come ahead.
Absolutely. We're coming up to 3 o'clock. We should be watching a game. We're not going to though. But Morts, it's been great to see you.
If only
Second
brief.
time this season. It's very brief, but as ever, great to see you. And we will work on your head on Brownie's body.
Yeah,
You know,
okay.
We'll
He'll
find a
look
way
$1
of
million.
doing that.
I'm getting my body. I'm going to get my body into shape so that you put
a
a
bit of clobber.
That is definitely where Photoshop comes in.
So the show's ending now. This will not end for a very long time. Anyway, Mort, it's great to see you as ever. Brownie, top man.
Always a pleasure.
So look, next Saturday is the next game for the Addicts. That is where we host Bolton. There's Exeter after that and Fleetwood, but Bolton's the one we're all concentrating on now. Now remember, that game is live on Sky Sports, so it's a 12:30 kickoff. But as long as you are outside of the UK and Ireland, then you'll be able to watch every kick live on CharltonTV as normal. I'll be hosting proceedings, and I'll have Curbs.
No.
Yes, Curbs will be back.
Back for a day.
From his almost a month in Barbados.
Is that from satellites?
Yeah, absolutely. So overseas supporters, please get your live stream match passes as soon as you possibly can. That's cafc.co.uk. Well, I don't know if we can cue Terry at all, because we could leave the final word for him. If not, it just leaves for me to say, I hope you've enjoyed the pre-match show. Wasn't quite meant to be today. We look forward to the next time. Take care. Bye for now.